first light on the 25th of June at 6:15 a.m. and we have got the motor running because we are off today for Byron Bay. Should be about an 10 or 11 hour sail. Pretty good conditions. It'll be a bit sad to leave Iluka. We've had a great 4 days here. Exiting the Clarence River at Yamba Iluka. Right on sunrise, just coming up over there. Got a prawn trawler coming in through the bar. He would have been out all night prawning.
Therefore, please take extreme caution when crossing the bar. Proceed with caution. Marine Rescue Ballina going back 16 out.
Captain, tell us about our trip today from Yamba to Byron Bay.
Hello everybody. So the winds were predicted to be 15 to 20 knots from 270 from the west, and we left Yamba bound for Byron Bay. Left Yamba about, hang on.
We'll be back to you shortly. Sorry for that interruption. We just had Marine Rescue Ballina issue a security that their lead lights are out, which was a decision point in deciding whether to go into Ballina or not. Anyway, back to the captain.
Yeah, so we left Yamba really early this morning. We wanted to make some progress up the coast, but we've got some significant weather coming up, and as all of you down in Sydney would probably be realising now, I saw 62 knot gusts at Byron, which is enormous from the west. So we had to make a decision on whether we were going to go into Ballina or not once we reached Ballina. The trip up from Yamba was exhilarating to say the least. We had 30 knot winds on our beam. We had to stop and put a second reef in our main and haul in the Hetzel a bit. And having said that, we were still getting up to over 8 knots, and this boat being a big heavy cruiser, that's quite fast for this boat, and it can become a little bit difficult to manage. Anyway, we got a beam Ballina, and of course the lead sector lights aren't working, and they're very, very important lead-in nav lights so that you can keep off the bar and make a safe passage into the Richmond River. So they weren't working, and I queried that, and they told me that they weren't working. So they must have just stopped for some reason. So we continued north past Ballina.
Your sail's not happy.
The sail's not happy, no. I'll just crack that on a bit. There we go, happy sail. You're happy now? So we went past Ballina, and one of the things with the river in Ballina is it faces due west, so it would be quite choppy, and so unless you could get one of the two public moorings there, it could be an uneasy sleep, especially if you're anchoring in mud. Anyway, so we decided to go past Ballina and have a look at the roadstead anchorage inside Byron Bay, which is, roadstead means basically open sea. So we're going to have a look in at Byron Bay and see what the conditions are like. There's kimpans around, there's not a lot of swell, which is good.
This is very, very, very different to an hour ago.
Yeah, an hour ago it was horrendous.
White caps everywhere, and there's no way I would be filming like this because I probably would have been overboard.
Yeah, so if inside Byron Bay is okay, we might chuck the anchor out there.
Made on board today. I'll hand you over to the captain and he can let you know his factors that went into his decision making.
Being stuck in Ballina, we went in there because there's a significant swell coming up the coast, and Ballina Bar's not very good, facing south a bit, so when the swell comes we probably would have been stuck in Ballina for quite a few days. So we decided to go up and have a look in at Byron Bay as a bit of an open roadstead anchorage. There were two other yachts in there, and they were getting absolutely smashed. We get a lot of 6 knots and everything's nice and calm and stable. We'll get ahead of the weather anyway.
And I think we've got an ETA just before midnight. Greg's feeling confident crossing the Gold Coast Seaway Bar at midnight. He said it's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, which is no problem. You're better off being at sea sailing and awake than trying to go to sleep on a rough night, wondering whether your anchor's going to pull out. You're going to end up washed up on the beach. So you're better off just being awake and making headway than being tossed around in Byron.
God, I think it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We've got about another hour of light, and we'll be heading into about, what have we got, 8 hours of darkness before we get to the Gold Coast. All's good on board though.
Hello everyone. So last night we had a small electrical fire in the boat, and I was in the shower and Kim was charging her computer up on our 500 watt inverter, and when I came out of the shower there was sort of like an electrical burning smell and smoke everywhere. And on a further investigation, this is the inside of our inverter, and you can see this switching cap has well and truly burned itself out. This unit's probably about maybe 2 years old, so it's out of warranty, so it's had it. So as a subsequent, we walked all the way into Labrador and we bought a new 600 watt inverter from MPTS, and I'm just in the process of installing it in our little spare parts loader back here. There's the inverter, new inverter there. So I've got a new circuit breaker and running 40 amp cable, got a 60 amp breaker. So that supplies the double GPO that'll go in there, and yeah, just got to get the 12 volts on it and away we go. That's Whitworth's, as I call it.
This hidden little gem is Byron Bay, or the Gold Coast Marine Stadium. Just panning around, heading south, looking back towards Southport. It's a pretty good place, just if you come in off the seaway, just to drop anchor just outside Byron Bay, which we did the other night.